Protect your health. Stay away from these 7 fish. Seafood is one of the most popular diets in the world. Yummy to eat and rich in many essential nutrients like omega-3 acids. It's easy to see why fish is a staple diet in many countries around the globe. In fact, according to American dietary guidelines, you should eat fish at least twice a week. But does that mean all types of fish are equally healthy? And if not, which fish species get the green light and which ones should you simply avoid? Turns out, when it comes to seafood, a little caution can go a long way. With rising levels of water pollution, fish today are at a much higher risk of consuming harmful toxins in their surrounding water. Thanks to human activities such as mining, sewage, and fossil fuel emissions, seas and rivers today are not the same as they once were. Sadly, many heavy metals like mercury and cyanide eventually wind up in our water bodies. Once consumed by fish, these harmful toxins find their way into the food chain and ultimately end up in your belly. So without further ado, let's dig right in. Here in America, salmon is pretty much an all-time favorite, and for good reason. Delicious to have and easy to find, salmon is one of the most popular fish in the world. But here's the thing, unfortunately the majority of salmon we eat belongs to the unhealthy type. Since it is farmed in artificial fish farms, it means that the salmon we eat is kept in an environment packed with pesticides, bacteria, parasites, and animal waste. Probably doesn't sound too appetizing now, does it? Regularly doused with antibiotics, farmed salmon are raised in cages so crammed they are rife with disease. That said, if you still find salmon too hard to resist, you might want to pick the right type of salmon for you. Try your best to avoid Atlantic salmon, instead going for wild-caught Alaskan salmon, which is a much healthier option. Wild salmon is also known to have higher levels of natural minerals, like iron and calcium, while farmed salmon is usually higher in fat. So if you are on a strict diet, you might want to be extra picky when it comes to which type of salmon you have. The deadly boss of the sea. Sharks are one of the scariest looking animals in the world. And for sharks, all forms of marine life are pretty much easy prey, which puts these ravenous looking beings right at the top of the seafood chain. Sadly, that also means sharks have substantially higher levels of mercury than most of our fish. In fact, did you know sharks are one of the 4 fish that have been listed by the US Food and Drug Administration as unfit for human consumption? Tilapia is one of the most popular fish in America. Remember, the most important reason you want fish in your diet is the abundance of omega fatty acids found in seafood. For humans, a healthy diet will strike the right balance between omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. As I'm sure you know, omega-3 fatty acids come with many health benefits and have a key role to play in helping the body reduce inflammation, while omega-6 fatty acids, on the other hand, actually tend to promote inflammation. Unfortunately, tilapia is found to have extremely low levels of the more beneficial omega-3 fatty acids, but extremely high levels of inflammatory omega, which means this fish right here has one of the worst ratios of omega-6 to omega-3 you can find in all seafood, making tilapia one of the unhealthiest fish species to eat. In fact, did you know, according to a 2008 study, eating more farmed fish like tilapia linked to heart disease, kidney failure, and many other serious health problems? The king mackerel, particularly those hunted in the Pacific Ocean, are known to have super high mercury levels. Mercury is a toxic heavy metal that accumulates over time, leading to serious health problems, such as neurological damage, kidney problems, and development delays in children. In fact, did you know, according to one 2023 scientific study, eating one freshwater fish is equal to a whole month of driving forever chemical water? And because king mackerel is at the top of the food chain, it preys on other fish. So the chances of second-hand mercury intake are also much higher for a king mackerel than a fish at the bottom of the food chain. For humans, it means this type of mackerel is probably best to avoid. But if you must have mackerel at all costs, you might want to go for Atlantic mackerel due to its much lower mercury content and the presence of many essential nutrients like vitamin B12 that are missing in king mackerel. The orange Ruffy is probably one of the least safe fish to eat. Wondering what makes them so toxic for humans? Well, the orange Ruffy is one of the longest living fish we know. In fact, did you know the orange Ruffy can live for up to 150 years? Naturally, this means they have been exposed to harmful toxins for a longer period of time, making it one of the least ideal fish options to go for. It's also an overfished species, which means consuming more and more of it will eventually lead to an imbalance in our natural ecosystems. So if you want to do your bit in protecting the marine environment, you should probably avoid this one in your regular diet. One of the most important fish to avoid, the swordfish, is a big no-no. This huge predatory fish is known for having extreme high levels of mercury. Sadly, thanks to its large size, the swordfish also has a higher amount of mercury in it. Remember, as a general rule of thumb, the smaller the fish, the less likely it is to contain a toxic amount of mercury. In fact, did you know the mercury level among the swordfish is so high that according to the Environmental Defense Fund, pregnant women and children should simply avoid it altogether, while adult men are advised to eat no more than 1 serving a month. Even though the swordfish is rich in vitamin D and selenium, a mineral that can help you kill cancerous cells, due to its high mercury content when it comes to swordfish, the risks probably outweigh the benefits. Last, and probably the least healthy option on this list, the imported catfish. With most imports coming from Vietnam, imported catfish, or the Pangasius, is one of the filthiest fish alive, swimming in sludge and waste. Did you know more than 70% of Pangasius fish are contaminated with Vibrio bacteria? If ingested, this tiny microbe can cause diarrhea, vomiting, and fever if ingested. So you might want to steer clear of this one too. So there you have it. 7 types of fish you're better off without. Especially if you're a kid or a pregnant mom-to-be. You might want to be extra careful as these harmful fish could wreak havoc on your organ health. Remember, thanks to years of dumping toxins in water, most types of fish today are bound to be contaminated. That said, this doesn't mean you can call quits on the idea of seafood altogether. That's right. Now for some good news. These are some of the healthiest fish out there that you can eat. From tuna, sardines, and wild Alaskan salmon to cod and herring, there are many healthy fish you can eat without worrying about all that mercury venom entering your body. As fish can be both a powerful superfood or one big toxic nightmare, all depending on what fish you choose and how regularly you treat yourself to it. For more health-related content, make sure you subscribe to our channel. And before you leave, ring the bell to stay updated on all our videos. Thank you.